Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me in this latest video devotion. I'd like to begin this message by confessing something to you. And here it is. I am not a very good artist. I can't draw or sculpt or do anything really creative with my hands. I mean, this is a nice drawing of myself, even with the glasses and the thinning hair and a flag supporting my favorite sports team. You would think that was something that a young child drew. Let's just face it, being creative in an artistic way is one of my weaknesses. And I could spend hours taking classes and practicing, and of course my craft could improve, but there would be other areas. There will always be other areas in my life that I am stronger at than my artistic creativity. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay, because God works in everyone despite their weaknesses. You may be bad at drawing and being artistic yourself, or you may not be very athletic and do or play sports well. You may find that one of your weaknesses is that you can't have a conversation with people. You're shy, you're introverted. One of your weaknesses may be is that you are so extroverted, so friendly and outgoing that you find it hard to quiet down and be still. Every one of us has areas in our life, in our lives, that we are weak at. And we think that the weakness defines us. Well, I want to tell you that God has, and is using you right now, even in the midst of whatever areas in your life that you're weak at. Think of the story of Gideon. In the book of Judges, chapter 6, this man named Gideon becomes Israel's judge. Now remember, in this time, the Israelites had just moved into the promised land and they had conquered it. Okay? But because everyone was still doing their own thing and they weren't all united, focusing on God and following His rules and His love, they lost track of who they were, where they were supposed to be, and who they were supposed to be with. Okay? There were a lot of people in this land that God told them to get rid of because they weren't chosen. They weren't living a life in God. And the Israelites didn't do that. So there was a lot of intermingling, a lot of intermarrying, and eventually the Israelites lost track of who they were. And they became a very evil, rotten, and they just didn't feel God in their life anymore. And so every time that someone outside of the Israelite community would come in and attack them, they would cry out to God, God, save us, send someone to save us, your people. And because God is loving and because He is forgiving, He set certain people in position and power to help the Israelite community respond to these attacks from other country. And Gideon was one of them. Gideon was called by the Lord in a very weird way. And once God called him, Gideon was shocked, amazed. He couldn't believe, nor could he understand that God was calling someone as insignificant as he was. Listen to what Gideon says when the Spirit of God calls him into being Israel's leader. This is Judges 6, 14 through 16. The Lord turned to him, Gideon, and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family." So Gideon is pretty much saying, I'm weak, I'm small, I'm insignificant, I mean nothing. Why are you calling me again? Why are you thinking that I am going to be the one to lead our people out from under this trouble? And God's response was poignant, solid, simple, and clear. The Lord said to him, "I will be with you, and you will destroy the Midianites as if you were fighting against one man." Wow. So Gideon was here saying, I'm insignificant. I'm a flea, God. There's no way that you can use me for your purposes. Purposes, not porpoises, for your purposes. But God said, I'm going to be with you. It doesn't matter what you think you are or how small you think you are. What matters is what I think of you. And I am going to use you, and you are going to accomplish my purpose, and you are going to lead my people out from under the Midianites' grasp. And in chapters 7 and 8, that's exactly what Gideon did. So, you could be in Gideon's position right now. You could be saying, God, there are so many things wrong with me. My weaknesses outnumber my strengths. How in the world could you possibly think that I'm worth something, that I can do anything for you? And God's response is the same for you right now as it was for Gideon thousands and thousands of years ago. I am with you. You will do great things because I will go with you. Listen to these words from 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Remember, this is a letter that was written to the church in Corinth. And it is a wonderful, wonderful reminder of what God can do with weak people. 1 Corinthians 1, 26 through 28. Listen to these. Remember that few of you were wise in the world's eyes, or powerful, strong, or wealthy when God called you. God chooses things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. And he chose things that are powerless to shame those who were powerful. God chose things rejected by the world, things counted as nothing, and used them to bring to nothing what the world considers important. God uses people that are regular, don't have a lot of strength, don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of people in their corner. God uses regular people, me, you. He uses them in spite of weaknesses and troubles in their lives and says, I'm going to do great things through you. Your weaknesses mean nothing because through me, you will be strong. You will be smart. You will be wise. You will be an effective leader. So, in Lee County, this has been our first full week of school. And I know that there have been some challenges. And there have been some moments where you've slipped up. And I know that you are strong in some subjects and weak in other ones. I hope that you will take this short devotion today and realize that there is truly nothing that is too big or powerful or scary for you to do without God's help. Because when you are weak, then He is strong. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me what? who gives me strength. Remember that today. God is going to use you in spite of your weaknesses. And you know what? He may even provide ways for you to get better in those areas. Remember my little buddy here, my little stick figure? Well, maybe all that God is saying is, hey, Neil, it's okay. If you are drawing something, if you are sketching something, coloring, painting something, whatever, if you're doing it for me, and if you're doing it to enhance my kingdom, I'm going to be with you. And this little person right here will mean something to someone if you're using it in my name. May God bless you. May he keep you and protect you. And may you feel his presence until we meet again. Remember, Christ is counting on you, even in moments where you feel weak.